verse 27. Search and seek.
It says, search and seek.
And she shall be made unto thee.
Right, and that she is wisdom. Because as the brother Malachi mentioned earlier, wisdom is personified as a woman. When you looking for wisdom, she's going to make herself known.
So right? Proverbs the 7th chapter.
Yeah, you bring it out, man.
Yeah, I'll bring it out to this. I got to finish. And she shall be made unto thee. And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go.
Right. You ever meet a beautiful woman before? You never wanted to let her go, right?
You didn't want to see her walk away.
Exactly. So you gotta treat wisdom the same way.
All the time.
You gotta hold on to wisdom and never let her go. This is your first love. So you gotta make love to her every night. How do you do that? You gotta open up the scriptures. You gotta read. You gotta read out loud. You gotta set the candles. You gotta get the wine. You gotta get the music playing. This is very intense. It's a date. It's a dinner date.
Cut on the candles.
Yeah,
play some jazz.
Yeah, you playing some jazz. You playing some Luther Vandross.
You really getting to the...
Yeah, you do a little dance before you get down and read the Bible. And
like Brother Knockomb always say, you got to get nasty with the scripture.
Yeah, you got to get nasty with it.
Straight up.
Yeah, man. You got to fold the page a certain way. You got to treat wisdom like it's a woman, man. You got to be gentle with her. You're not going to fold the scriptures all like... Come on, man. You got to be gentle with this book, It's like...
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse 4. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that they might keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger with flattering, which flattereth her lips.
Right, so you got two different types of women. You got wisdom, that's the beautiful woman. She's delicate, she's wonderful, man. And then you got the other woman, she's kind of a slut. She ain't gonna do you no good. She's nothing to you, man. Yeah, that's doctor.
The strange woman, yeah, that's Christianity.
Yeah, and you don't want to mess with that strange woman.
That's Egypt, the Kemet.
Yeah, you can't really play music for her. She won't like it, man.
That's right.
Go to Matthew 11. Where you guys go?
This is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and 11. And it reads, in that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Our salvation is nearer when we believe. Meaning the end is coming, the end is nigh. We at the finish line, brother. You see all these wars and rumors of wars popping off right now. Israel and Palestine literally going at it. You got little kids' body parts being blown to smithereens. You got arms over there. You got legs down the street.
Right, you got toes over there.
Yeah, somebody was walking down the street and there was a tongue in their head. They got brain all in their ear. It's bad over there. People being blown to bits.
Reset for that.
So there's war going on, and only going to get worse.
Yeah, it's like you can just walk in somewhere and just get blown the hell up.
Yeah.
That's how intense it is.
And you trip over an arm, that'll mess up your day.
Yeah.
Trip over an arm just to break your arm over there.
Yeah, you think you stepping on the rock whole time, you stepping on a damn bomb, man.
Yeah.
Now your toes, now you blown up, man.
Yeah, you step on something, and that'll be your last step, brother.
Hey, now you got one leg,
bro.
now
You just take a step into the spiritual world.
How y'all doing?
Spirit. We in the spirit.
Hey, I walked past y'all and y'all was like, you're not a black man. I said, no, I'm not a black man. I'm an Asiatic black man. Yeah, I'm an Asiatic.
Are you a time zone?
No, you a time zone.
Brother, you don't know what's going on.
Watch your mouth, though. Watch your mouth.
Brother, what's your nationality? Because Asiatic, that's not a real thing.
That's right.
And we Christians, right? We believe in the Bible how we want to believe in it, bro.
Wait, are you Christian or Asiatic?
So why are you calling yourself Asiatic? That's a Muslim doctrine.
Look, we believe in that Bible how you want to believe it, because in the
It doesn't work out like
he
that.
raped them little girls. Now, read the Bible if y'all know anything about the Bible. He raped them girls first.
You don't know what's going on.
No,
Y'all don't
that's
know what's
Islam. That's what Muhammad did.
Oh, no, I'm not Islam.
Come on,
I never
man,
said
they
you
don't know
was.
what's going on.
I appreciate
They
it.
got the Bible, but they know what's going on.
I appreciate it.
What's going on, brother? What's going on? Shalom, brother.
Shalom.
So you got the elders, they know. Yeah. So look, what he say?
I ain't moving nowhere, man.
What he say?
Come on, we ain't going nowhere, Jake.
Man.
Come on, man.
Even I do that to the white man.
God.
Proverbs 16:29.
God. Run down the Trump about this country, man.
I'm not going nowhere anyway, but I ain't just I don't promote violence.
We
Guess
don't
what I
either.
promote? I promote a dollar bill. You feel me?
We promote the white man's dollar bill.
No, I promote a black man dollar bill.
Yeah, that's what we do.
You hear me? Hey, listen, I bet you I do more than what every.
Anywho. Go to Revelation 11:8.
Okay. Hey, listen, stay out here.
Whatever you had, I thought that was it.
I was bringing out the war. You was talking about war.
Okay, Con, bring it up.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, and verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Right, brother. The second woe is past, and the third woe cometh quickly. Right, the Second World War already happened, man.
Bring it out.
We learned about it in history. We went
Right.
to elementary school and middle school. We learned about the World War II. Go on.
And the seventh angel sounded, and there was a great voice from heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become kingdoms of our Lord and his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever.
Break it down.
But pretty much he's saying after the World War III happens and the seventh angel sounds, that's when you know that the Heavenly Father and the Son, they gonna reign forever and ever. Amen. That's when
right.
we gonna take the kingdom and possess it forever.
That's right.
There's gonna be no end to that kingdom.
Absolutely. We're going to go a little bit more into depth about World War III and what's going on.
This is the book of Joel. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 2.
Brother, you got a minute for the Bible? 1 minute for the Bible.
Okay. That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Oh, praise. What's your name, brother? Huh? Parker. What's your nationality? Black. You the color of his jacket? What's your nationality? Black. Or African American? Which one? You gave me a color in 2 continents.
I thought we was talking about the Bible.
Yeah. We are, but it all relates to the Bible. At
right.
the end of the day.
That's right.
You had Christ. You know he was a so-called black man, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, we're gonna go show you in Revelation 1:13. We could be making it up, right? You ever been to church?
One time, yeah.
Well, good, because them churches not gonna tell you anything. We know because we all been to church. We've grown up in the churches, especially that brother, right?
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, and verse 13. And it reads, in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man,
Another title for Christ.
clothed with a garment down to the foot,
He had a beautiful but long garment on like that brother. Go on.
and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
He had a golden girdle on. It's a fly brother. Who's known for having gold and wearing gold? So-called black people, right?
His hands and his hairs were white like wool.
Yeah, white woolly hair. Like that brother and this brother and every brother you see up here. Except it's not white. But we have woolly hair. That's the point.
As white as snow.
As white as snow. Go on.
And his eyes were a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass.
Brother, if your feet is one color, the rest of your body got to be one color. It only makes sense. And we know brass is a derivative of brown. You take that brass, you throw it in the furnace, you pull it out. Is it darker or lighter, brother? It's darker.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if they burnt in a furnace. That's one heck of a simile. All right, we're going to show you something. Look at that. So we know Christ is a so-called black man. He definitely don't look like him. He doesn't have blonde hair. He doesn't have blue eyes. And his skin is not white.
That's right.
Ain't that deep, brother? So we just showed you the complexion of Christ in the Bible. Who the whole world say that they love. So they lying about something. They lying about a lot of stuff, brother. We're going to show you something deep. Go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Let's get to the point.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Now this is Moses speaking to the Israelites. Moses speaking to the Israelites.
And it reads, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Now hold up, he said you're going to go back into Egypt. Well, the first time they went into Egypt is in the book of Exodus. You ever see the movie 10 Commandments? What about Prince of Egypt? Remember they left Egypt? So they left Egypt, now they're in the land of Moab, right? And he said you're going to go back into Egypt. But there's no account in the Bible where they went back into Egypt. You know? So we got to break down this word to get a better understanding of what's going on.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. And it reads, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of what?
Out of the house of bondage.
Playpen.
Out of the house of bondage.
Trap house.
Out of the house of bondage.
So it says out of the house of bondage. That's what Egypt means, brother. Does that make sense? Okay, with that understanding, we're going to apply it back to this verse and nail it in the coffin.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
You're going to go back into Egypt, meaning slavery again, with ships. Now, how'd your ancestors get to America?
Ships.
Ships, right? Okay.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right, because once you get on that ship, you're not going to see your homeland anymore. And as a result of that, you're going to lose your nationality and lose who you are, really.
And there ye shall be sold into your enemies.
Right, once you get off that boat, you're going to be sold into your enemies and get up on them auction blocks. It'll be sold for $2 or 30 cents.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
Right.
And no man shall buy you.
No man's going to redeem you out that slavery. So what people did that to your people in history?
I'm talking to you.
I don't know, man. Kinda.
Do you know what people put the slaves in slavery?
Good, bro.
Do you know what people put the slaves in slavery?
Where they put the slaves?
No. What people put the so-called blacks in slavery? Which people did that to them?
The higher priests and stuff.
You said the higher priest and she said white people.
I don't know.
It's the white people.
Right. Right.
White people.
Y'all gotta be real.
We gotta be
Nah,
real.
it's
She
angry
was
about.
real. Why wasn't she real about
That's
it?
right.
Yeah, Salaki, we dealing with real.
Hold on, we gotta be
gotta
real.
That's right.
She gave us a bold answer. It was white people. You said she priests. It was white people. Brothers, that make sense so far? So the white people put your people into slavery. That's what happened. That's prophesied out the Bible. We didn't make that up. We didn't stay up last night scribbling this. You know? We didn't write Deuteronomy last night. So if this is speaking to the Israelites, that they're going to go back into slavery all over again into another land and lose their nationality, well, who fits that today? What people don't know who they are?
Everyone.
Brother, if you ask a so-called white person where they're from, they're going to have an idea. They might say, well, my ancestors are from Europe, or oh, they're from Switzerland, or, you know, they're from Australia, or they might be from Italy. They're going to have a better idea than you, right? We asked you your nationality, you said black in 2 continents. We asked 7 more so-called black people, they'll give us 7 more different answers. Go to Jeremiah 17:4. That's a huge problem in our community. We have no idea who we are. Right?
That's right.
You said what?
So you're right about that.
You said you right about that?
Wake them up, man.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, and verse 4. And it reads, And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage.
Thou even thyself shall discontinue from your heritage. We don't know who we are, brother. And that's a verified fact. She said it herself. So now what? How do we find out who we are?
Church.
No church. Church ain't the answer. You know, church told us.
In your own hand, you study it.
Church told us that that so-called white
Yeah,
man
me
is
up.
God.
That's what church.
That's what church told us.
That's in every church in Detroit right now.
I've been to church all my life, brother.
Church
And they
understand
told us
you
that
an
was
Israelite.
God. Did they tell you it was Israelite, brother?
We ain't learned this from church.
This
brother.
guy.
Go to Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
We ain't learned this from church, bro.
We about to get a little heavier, brother. Are you ready? All right, one more. Go to verse 47. Deuteronomy 28, 47.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 47.
Get out.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Right, so because you didn't want to worship the Heavenly Father and keep His commandments, now you got to go into slavery. Go on.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in a hunger.
And hunger. Brother, where do you go when you hungry? McDonald's? Chick-fil-A? Owned by who? Who owns that? We got to be real. Who owns, y'all know who owns Chick-fil-A?
Let's be real up here.
We got to be real. Who owns these multi-billion-dollar corporations and factories?
No shenanigans.
No shenanigans. Who owns them? Huh? White.
White people.
And in thirst.
And in thirst. You want your Dasani, your Sprite, your Pepsi, your Coca-Cola, your Bagels, your Starbucks. You gotta go to so-called white people who owns these places. Now you might see black people working in the back. They don't know nothing. They don't know what's going on. They're just workers. Go on.
And in nakedness.
And then nakedness. You want your Flyers fit. You want your Nike, your Adidas, your Levi's. You gotta go to so-called white people.
And in want of all things.
You want to know how to drive. You want to know how to drive an airplane. You want to know how to, do anything in life. You gotta go to the so-called white man
Passport.
to get understanding. On how to thrive in society. Passport, the brother said. Your license.
Death certificate.
Your death certificate, your birth certificate.
Social security.
You gotta go to them. You don't go to your own people.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
He won't put a what?
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Until he have destroyed thee.
Right, destroyed you to the point where you call yourself a color out of a crayon box. That's how destroyed we are.
Right.
Brother, what's your nationality? See? We don't know what's going on. We kind of bugged out in the cities, in the streets. We curse in the cities, in the streets. We have an evil eye towards our own people, and it says that in the Bible.
I got one more for you.
The brother said he got one more for
I
you.
can't do one more. She's gonna cuss me out. I can't. But
All right,
we'll be
brother.
coming back this way.
I got
Smack,
one
we
more.
got some literature for you too. We got some literature for you.
We losing them and shit.
We got phone. We got YouTube.
And what's your nationality?
I gotta walk this way anyway.
What's your father?
I was adopted, so.
One more, brother.
What's your father?
Why he here?
My,
Just tell me what it is. I
adopted,
remember.
well, my parents that I have now are white. Both families white.
Okay, I believe
Coming
that.
back this way.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 4. Thus said the Lord my God,
Thank you.
feed the flock, feed the flock of the slaughter. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. You hear that? Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Ask her what's the edition.
No, they both are. That's not my sister. Both your girlfriends?
Yeah.
But you guys can't get no white girls, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Con, what,
They walked off.
what
on
is
you,
she?
man.
What is she?
Hey,
Watch
brother.
the video.
Hey, brother.
They walked off on you, man. They walked off on you, man.
I've never.
He said both
He said both of them.
Well, look, you got to separate from that white girl, man.
Yeah, if it
Wow.
was too,
I was gonna ask her what she is.
But that's all.
Oh wow.
I got one more question though.
How you manage that shit?
All right. Since you see her face, she was mixed. Before I wouldn't even go ask her. I seen it in her face she was mixed. But like,
She might have been an Eve.
Do you believe the other chick that he was with was mixed?
Yeah, that's all I was saying too. She
She was white.
She
She
said both. She said her. She's adopted.
That was an Edomite.
Really, I think the other lady, so-called white one.
Yeah,
was
the
a-
other lady was a white
everybody was
woman clearly because she was
Her spirit.
oh
man.
yeah. It
No,
was
the
like,
other one.
It
Not
was
the
like
mixed one.
she was clothed over like a blanket, and the other one was kind of like. Y'all talking about stuff that I'm trying to do.
Yeah, she was trying to.
She wasn't being.
Brother wanted to listen, though. I ain't gonna
You
lie.
can tell he wanted to listen.
He wanted to
His spirit was there.
His spirit was there, but the dove.
That was multiple rounds.
No.
Damn.
Numbers 1 and 15.
But like, I don't know, that's some evil ass shit. Like it seemed like,
Yeah,
it
man.
seemed like she was
And they both control them, man. Oh, they gonna be mad at me. Like, brother, you gotta put your foot down, man.
Now, you call her
Book of
bitch,
Numbers,
man.
chapter 1 and verse 2. Take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, after their families, by the house of their fathers, with the number of their names, every male by their polls, from 20 years old and upward. All that are able to go forth to war in Israel, thou and Aaron shall number them by their armies.
No, the pedigree of their forefathers.
That's 18.
Yeah, that's 18. 1 and 18.
It's by your fault. They got point out.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18. And it reads, And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward, by their polls.
So that so-called mixed girl, I personally think she might have been an Edomite.
talking about the
She said she got a lot of white family
me
members and they
personally,
all white.
I think she was white. Me personally, I think she was white. Yeah, cause she kind of like.
Yeah, ain't no
I'm
evil
white.
gonna be with that.
I'm
Yeah,
adopted.
that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
Yeah,
she
that's
tried
some
to-
Edomite shit.
That was some evil ass shit. Like she
That's some
basically
Edomite
like
shit.
focused jaw talk.
Yeah, now that I
I
think
was
about it.
raised by white people.
Right.
Yeah, they be.
And I
yeah,
felt
they
that
be
vibe
doing
on her
that.
and shit. That's why I'm like,
But
alright,
you never
sis.
know with Eve in 2019 either, man. For real. Never know with Eve.
You